Welcome everyone to the Larsonland podcast. I'm your host Sawyer Hill, and my co-host Dylan Bradshaw couldn't make it on to today's show. He's having some Wi-Fi troubles down in Florida. I guess some storms and stuff down there this evening, but we'll dive right into today's show. We'll be recapping the High Limit Sprint Car Series from Lernerville, as well as the NASCAR Cup Series race at Talladega. Um, at Talladega, Kyle Larson brought home a 15th place finish, and to me, I mean, it really may sound crazy, but with Kyle's history at Dega, we talked about it last week on the show. Um, we just wanted it to be a somewhat smooth race. Kyle came in, and the team was able to finish third in stage one, pick up some good stage points there, and then I think finish eighth in stage two. So being able to get those stage points, like we talked about, that was going to be the big key to the race. They were able to capitalize in that area, and despite almost crossing the finish line, getting wrecked right before the finish line, and a little bit of an incident there with Riley Herbst and Corey LaJoy. I think a lot of people are kind of coming for Herbst or LaJoy, kind of blaming them for the incident. I think from my perspective, it's you're that close to the finish line at a super speedway. I don't know who is going to lift. I think they're all trying to just hammer down and go for the win if they possibly can. So I don't blame either of those guys. Kind of frustrating for Kyle's side of things, where he's trying to obviously get that top 5-10 finish where he had been running most of the day. But nonetheless, 15th place finish after the disqualification of Kevin Harvick. Um, 15 points above the cut line. If you're watching this podcast on YouTube today, I have the point standings on the right side of the screen, and Kyle's plus 15, and in that seventh position in the standings. Obviously, Ryan Blaney, with his win at Talladega, locks into the round of eight with William Byron via his win last week. But Kyle at plus 15, definitely a lot better of a position than what he was in going into Talladega, only being plus two and in that eighth position. So for the Charlotte Roval, I think it's going to be probably the same kind of game, same strategy. I would say is what I predict for Kyle and the five team. I think that they're going to have to almost go for the stage points rather than going for. I think on the road courses, what happens a lot of times is we see teams pitting before the stage caution to put them in a better position to win the race. But I think what's going to happen this week for Kyle is they're going to have to stay out, get all those stage points, because those five guys that are below the five team, Brad Keselowski, Tyler Reddick, Bubba Wallace, Ross Chastain, and Kyle Busch, those guys, they're going to definitely need the stage points. So in order to counter that, the best way I think for Kyle to be able to advance is to get those stage points as well. And obviously, I think Kyle's going to have a really good car at the Roval. We've seen him good there in the past. I think last year kind of just has that bad taste in everybody's mouth with him getting eliminated in that race. But nonetheless, Kyle's going to be fast there, and really expect big things from the five team. In some other news this week, we have some confirmed races on the 2024 NASCAR Cup Series schedule. The Indy Oval coming back to replace the Indianapolis Motor Speedway road course. Huge fan of that one. I know some people think that the Indy Oval is a little bit boring with NASCAR, but it's one of those crown jewel events that everybody wants to win. Everybody wants to go there and kiss the bricks. And Kyle Larson's going to have two opportunities to do that next year. So he's going to run the Indianapolis 500 in May, and then I think it's July, we'll see the Indy Oval make its return for NASCAR. Also, the North Wilkesboro All-Star Race going to be coming back for the second straight year, and this year with a repave at that speedway. So going to be a little bit different. It's going to be cool to see how that speedway races with new asphalt on it. And looking forward to that All-Star Race. Kyle Larson, the defending winner of that event. And then just today coming out, the Iowa Speedway, expected to be a new addition to the NASCAR Cup Series schedule. super pumped for that one. I've been watching the IndyCar races there for the past couple years, and that event that they've built there with the support of Hy-Vee has just been awesome. I think that if NASCAR can build an event, not only just a race, but an event to the size of what IndyCar has built there the past couple of years, we're really in for a good one. And the racing there has been awesome, at least on the IndyCar side of things. So hopefully with NASCAR we can see more of the same. Um, I think also Bob Pockrass of Fox Sports reported today that there will be two new tracks in the playoffs in 2024. So maybe something interesting to monitor there. I think it's good to see some. We like to see some shakeups when it comes to the playoffs. We don't want to see the same 10 tracks in the same exact order every single year. And with the past, what is it, 4 or 5 years of Phoenix being the final race, of course Phoenix will be the final race next year, but we definitely we want to see some variation there when it comes to the playoff schedule. We don't want to have, especially like I look at this round of 12 specifically, where it's Texas, Talladega, and then the Roval. I think that if those races were all three in the playoffs, I think they would be fine. I don't like Talladega being in the playoffs, but if it wasn't in the same round as the Roval, I think it would be a little bit better. But yeah, I mean, schedule for 2024 supposed to be coming out, I think, potentially on Wednesday. So really looking forward to that and what it has in store. So backtracking a little bit to last Tuesday night, the High Limit Sprint Car Series took on to the Lernerville Speedway, and it was an awesome turnout there. I really wish that I was there. I was debating back and forth between going, but an awesome turnout with Dale Jr. there. I listened to the Dale Jr. download episodes covering this race, and it sounded like Dale Jr. and Mike Davis had an awesome time at Lernerville. The track conditions were awesome in my opinion. Just watching from Flow, it looked like it was super technical. Brad Sweet and Kyle Larson locked out the front row starting positions in the feature, but ultimately it would be Watertown, Connecticut's David Gravel taking home the $50,000 grand prize. Larson did take the lead. If you didn't watch, Larson took the lead from Brad Sweet midway through the race until about 9 laps to go when he got biked up on the cushion coming out of two. And Larson was extremely lucky not to flip when he got biked up on the cushion out of two. I mean, that back straightaway at Lernerville, if those of you listening don't know, there's no wall on that back straightaway. So you go over the cushion, you're off the side of the track. There's a massive drop off the side of the track there, and Kyle was lucky not to go up and over there. So fell back and ultimately ended up getting an eighth place finish. But that eighth place is really big going into the final two races here at Bridgeport and at Lincoln Park, because Rico Abreu was able to close the points lead down to just 20 points with these final two races left. And Rico's been hot. Larson's been hot in the High Limit Series, but um, you know it's really going to come down to these last two races, and Larson's kind of had, I would say, more of a rough patch the last three or four, whereas Rico has kind of picked up the pieces, so to say. So tomorrow night is that next to last race of the series at the Bridgeport Speedway, the Kingdom of Speed. I will be there on location in New Jersey to cover the race tomorrow night. Um, if so, of course, if you see me, if you see the Larsonland hat, if you see the Larsonland shirts, be sure to stop and say hello. We definitely, whenever me and Dylan are at one of the tracks at the racetrack, we love talking to all the Larson fans. And I was telling Dylan the other day, I think we need to get some kind of stickers or something to bring to the track for when fans see us and say something about the show, because we do appreciate everybody's support here on YouTube and on Apple Podcasts, just listening to our show and supporting it, because we love providing the coverage to you guys each and every week. As far as Bridgeport goes, though, I was at the World of Outlaws sprint car race there last May when Kyle Larson finished second to Sheldon Haudenschild, lost the lead in the last couple laps of that race. It was an awesome race, awesome track. It was my first time at Bridgeport, and when I saw it on the high limit schedule for in 2023, I was super pumped. I didn't expect to see Bridgeport on there. Obviously, when I looked at the Outlaw schedule that came out a couple weeks before, I think the high limit schedule, seeing no Bridgeport on there, I was kind of bummed because I really enjoyed that event from in 2022. And then once I saw it on the high limit schedule, I knew it was going to be a big one. I circled it on my calendar, and I'm really excited to go there tomorrow night. And I'm sure it's going to be another awesome event. For in other final news, Kyle Larson confirmed to be running the Hangtown 100 with the USAC National Midgets in November. There's been a lot of speculation this year and joking around about if Kyle Larson has retired from midget racing, so to say. Kyle obviously didn't run the Chili Bowl this year as he ran the Wild West Shootout out in Vado, New Mexico, the late model stuff out there. And Kyle hasn't made a midget start to this point of the year, but it was confirmed this week that Kyle Larson will be back behind the wheel of a midget on November 17th and 18th at the Placerville Speedway for the Hangtown 100. Kind of unsure still if this will be in Larson's own car or if it with Paul Silva on the wrenches or if it'll be a Chad Boat fielded entry, but nonetheless, super pumped to see Young Money back behind the wheel of a midget. Big time to be a Kyle Larson fan. Lots of cool stuff going on right now. Big cutoff race this weekend at the Roval. The conclusion of the High Limit Sprint Car Series season. The final two races there. Kyle's first IndyCar test coming up in the next few weeks. Off-season racing already being scheduled, and I think we're all kind of just on the edge of our seats looking forward to the next couple of weeks and months for Kyle Larson's racing. So, unfortunately, I think without Dylan here on the show, it's going to be a little bit of a quick show. I wish I had somebody to kind of bounce ideas off of and go back and forth with, but hopefully Dylan will be back on the show next week to recap the Charlotte Roval, the cutoff race there, as well as the High Limit Sprint Car Series race at Bridgeport. We're always so thankful for everybody's support here on YouTube, as well as all of our other social media platforms. Thanks again, everyone, for tuning in and listening to today's show. We'll be back again next week to recap all of the action from this week. If you're watching this on YouTube, please don't forget to like this video and subscribe. And if you're listening on Apple Podcasts, please follow our podcast so you don't miss a thing. Have a great rest of the week, everyone, and we will see you in the next episode.